Back in my office, folks. Sunday, May 11, 2025. We need to continue the discussion of what I think is happening with our protective magnetic field, developing multiple magnetic poles now, resulting in weak areas here and there. So up until now, we talk about the health effects of cosmic radiation on us inhabitants. Well, that's short term during geomagnetic instability, solar storms. But we really need to seriously consider the prolonged exposure to the highly energetic particles, which can cause long-term brain damage, DNA damage, other damage to our bodies, but also resulting in impairments and dementia. There could be decrements to the vascular system. May also impact the risk of cerebral vascular of the brain disease and consequent dementia. Therefore, age plays a role in the electromagnetic radiation effects. Some examples of the highly energetic particles are the X-rays, hard X-rays, gamma rays, and some higher energetic levels of the ultraviolet radiation, including ultraviolet C level, which is not supposed to reach us, but now it is. So once again, to some of you, this is going to sound boring because I've gone through it, a great many times, but there's always new people. So the effects of the highly charged particles, cosmic radiation, and galactic cosmic radiation as well. We're going to start off with the neurological effects. Headaches and migraines, including those not predisposed to having headaches and migraines, which it can be a frontal lobe compression, pressure, temporal stabbings all around the skull. We can experience dizziness, vertigo, a feeling of unwell, a sense of disorientation, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, especially during radiation storms, sinus issues, pressure, visual disturbances, joint pain, arthritis, skin irritations, a burning sensation, tingling sensations, and other physiological changes or abnormalities. Gastrointestinal issues, multiple sclerosis flare-ups, epileptic seizures, arthritic flare-ups, dementia, sensitivity to lights. There's also the cardiovascular effects, which includes increased heart rate, tachycardia, irregular heart rhythm, arrhythmia, palpitations, feelness, awareness of the heart, blood flow alterations, cardiac arrest, high blood pressure, and stress, of course, equals strokes. Now we're talking about what's more important, I believe, is the neuropsychological effects of the highly charged particles on the human brain or behavior. Emotional instability with frequent mood swings, irritability, argumentative, easily triggered, impatient, frustrated, anxiety, depression. Emotional fluctuations due to the external energies. Now, some of us are more sensitive to the energies than others. We can be confused, sadness, worrying, despair, depression. We can have brain fogging, blanking out, or on the other end of the spectrum, racing thoughts, increased dreams, feeling of exhaustion, drained, lack of focus. Behavioral changes, outbursts, rage, violence. This would include road rage, increased incidence of rage on airline flights, higher altitude, more exposure, cosmic radiation, suicides increase. Now we're going to talk about cognitive deficits. So our cognitive is our ability to learn, memorize, decision-making, creative thinking, speaking, solving our problems, reasoning, focusing, processing information in general. And again, this can be exacerbated by excessive to fear-based thoughts, media, negative environments. Something I have a lot of personal experience in management with, mental health. Those with mental health challenges and conditions. Autism, ASD, ADD, ADHD, OCD, anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, during intense geomagnetic storms into a period of psychosis, intense rage, violence, destruction. Now, these are the results of sudden acute exposure during geomagnetic storms. I am now talking about the long-term chronic effects, long-term exposure, because as I believe, there's areas over our planet which are opening up because of a multipolar field, allowing increased constant levels of radiation to come in, bombarding us. The different types of radiation, the gamma radiation and the ultraviolet radiation. This is why I believe that the substations fires in England are popping up here and there and everywhere in the fires. But we need to concentrate on the what's going to make us go cuckoo. So going back to my list of the effects, I'm going to highlight the following, which I think I'm going to start to experience more than the rest of the symptoms. The constant fatigue and exhaustion, and prolonged headaches. More people developing tinnitus. More multiple sclerosis and arthritic flare-ups are going to be common, longer. Epileptic seizures. Those with pre-existing cardiac conditions obviously need to be watched closely. Visual disturbances and cataracts and pupil cellular damage. I've done this talk before. I'm going to try and include links in my videos. It just takes more time for me to upload them, but I'll see what I can do. I've done this talk lots of times, because I know it's important. Protect your eyes from the ultraviolet radiation. Proper UV sunglasses with the side panels and coverage over the top of your eyes. Wear them at all times when you're outside. Also, a brimmed hat, minimum is about 2.5 inches, 3 inches all the way around. Okay. Remember, you need to protect your ears and the back of your neck from the ultraviolet radiation, UV rays coming in. Extremely important. What also is important for those who have newborns, you want to take them out for walks, expose them to the environment to help build up their immune system. You can be doing more damage than good to the little babies who have very weak pupils. Okay, you need to protect their eyes. You need to put a hat on them. If you're in a stroller, try not push them facing into the sun. Remove the cover. Think about your babies. You don't want them developing cataracts before the age of 1. I would expect a long-term cognitive decline. I might suggest to watch out for a decline in learning, memorizing, and problem solving, as well as focusing. And obviously a higher risk of developing cancers. Again, protect your skin. Tightly woven material, not bleached. Try and keep your sleeves rolled down if you're working out at night. Eye protection, hat protection. Try and limit to your work until very early in the morning. Take your rests or do any inside work between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., 4 p.m. when the sun is highest. Like I said, folks, I believe the planet is now developing multiple magnetic poles, which does happen during geomagnetic excursions. So up until this point, I've showed you how the geomagnetic north has already left Nunavut, Canada, about 1904 or so. Has already crossed over Santa Claus North Pole, is headed towards Siberia. South, although moving slower, has left Antarctica and is in the waters between Antarctica and Australia, working towards each other. We will never be told the truth. The only thing we can really watch out for, or suggest that my theory is correct, some different areas of the world we're going to have power failures and fires at substations, like England, for example. Increased fires in the British Isles. Power failures just to the south in Spain and Portugal and France. Could be one area. As for the power failure in Puerto Rico during the geomagnetic storm, you must consider all possibilities, such as the system, the grid was already maxed out, overloaded. It was already stressed out, so it did not take much to knock out the grid in Puerto Rico. You need to consider everything. Just like you need to consider that we are developing a multipolar field. We are seriously breaking down now. It's not just going to affect the inhabitants of the planet, the animals, but our weather systems. Increased earthquakes, increased rise of heat, fires, and so on. Okay. I'm one of the ones who's had a prolonged headache, so I think I'm going to make this my last video of the day. What do I say? As you were, carry on.